If they're gonna get the money up to dig her body back up and have a real autopsy done on there, have a real investigation on there, who's it gonna hurt?
I didn't know Cassie, but I knew somebody who was going through the same thing she was going through, and that was Kim Porter.
Kim was fine the day before and the day of her death, and then now she found in the bed dead from pneumonia. That just don't sound right.
Diddy was the one who set him up with the chick, you dig? So it's probably safe to say that Diddy, a whole lot of these people are sharing diseases and swapping bodily fluids, but you have not heard a mention of a condom.
I don't think nobody in America thinks there's nothing suspicious about Kim's death, bro. If you are rich like that, you could, Kim had, I think, a net worth of like, what, 12 million a year or something like that? Kim could have called any doctor to come over and look at her. If she was that bad, she could have called an ambulance or something like that. Everything is suspicious about her death, bruh. And I don't think an autopsy was done on her. And if it was a half.
Gene Deal asked a question that quietly shakes Hollywood to its core. If Kim Porter's body were ever exhumed, who would truly be harmed? The answer would be everyone. Claims suggest Kim Porter did not die from pneumonia, but from a secret so volatile that powerful figures allegedly arranged her death and masked it as natural causes. The same pattern of calculated mistreatment that nearly destroyed Cassie is now said to have fully destroyed Kim, yet her killing wasn't only about silencing a victim. Multiple insiders now allege that Diddy spread HIV for decades through coercive encounters. A genuine autopsy was never pushed forward, critics say, because Kim's body could have exposed biological harm hidden behind the entertainment industry's facade. The truth surrounding her death could bring down an entire system built on infected blood and buried bodies. Tonight, we examine why Kim Porter allegedly had to die to protect hip-hop's darkest secret and who else could be at risk. But before understanding how Kim Porter died, we must understand how she lived, trapped in a cycle that began long before her final breath, a pattern of control that started each time she tried to escape, only to be pulled back into Diddy's web.
Kim Porter says she dumped Diddy.
I feel like
In a statement to the TV show The Insider, she says she decided to end what she calls her on-again, off-again relationship with Sean Diddy Combs. She says it was best interest of both them and their family.
Archive news coverage shows the same pattern repeating. Kim attempted to leave again and again, and Diddy repeatedly pulled her back in. What the media failed to see, however, was the violence that reportedly made those reunions unavoidable.
I know Kim got tired. That's why she took that corkscrew and ripped his damn arm out. Tried to rip his arm off for putting his hands on him. I know she was tired. Them pillow fights and that smothering her with the pillows and all that, like he playing with her. I know she was tired.
Gene Deal's words land hard. Kim Porter was exhausted, not just physically worn down, but spiritually shattered after years of alleged physical abuse by Diddy. When someone with first-hand knowledge says a woman was tired, it signals she had reached her limit. This wasn't sporadic domestic violence. It was described as systematic brutality meant to crush her resistance. The cycle appeared intentional. She tried to leave. The violence escalated, and fear was then used to keep control. And the physical abuse, sources claim, was only one layer of her confinement.
Kim couldn't have nobody, bro. Kim couldn't have nobody. You understand what I'm saying, bro? Diddy could do whatever, Puff could do whatever he wanted to do, Brother Love could do whoever he wanted to be. If Kim ever tried to get with somebody, Puff would interfere with them or with her trying to be with them. He wasn't letting that happen. Unless he was bringing them to the picture. That's what he used Kim for, bro. He wanted to make a deal with somebody. He'll get another girl and a guy who he's trying to make a deal with, and him and Kim, they all party together, man. He used Kim for that.
This exposes the financial side of Kim's entrapment. She wasn't portrayed as merely Diddy's partner. Insiders allege she was used as a business asset, pressured into facilitating deals by offering access to her body. Major contracts allegedly involved her participation, making escape economically impossible. Kim Porter, according to these claims, wasn't only a DV survivor, she was also a trafficking victim, systematically exploited to secure business while being punished for resistance. When Kim Porter died, the investigation wasn't just insufficient. It was allegedly undermined. Every detail Gene Deal says he observed points toward a coordinated cover-up.
You got to realize, man, Kim's death wasn't even investigated, bro. Her death wasn't even investigated. And it should have been a proper investigation so all the family members can feel like that there was no foul play in her death. How is it that you know how we are as a people? I don't believe that 10% of your viewers that's watching this don't keep their phone when they go to sleep in arm reach. How is it that there was no electronic products or gadgets around Kim's bed? Her laptop missing, her cell phone's missing. Everything is missing that she could get in touch with her little girls if they not at home or her friends or family. All that's missing. How is it that, and this is hearsay, that the detectives did not even view the body in the bed where she died at? That the coroner them had already removed her, pronounced her dead, and told the detectives them that it was no foul play. And if that is true, as I've heard it, and we read certain things on the internet about it, that case needs to be reopened. We know that Kim, and it's in the this is in the documentation. Shout out to paperwork, at the paperwork part. I gotta shout him out, man, because he looked in the paperwork and it said Kim received a massage for about an hour when she's supposed to have full-blown pneumonia. Who gives somebody a massage when they got pneumonia? And do we know whether she used that baby oil or not for that massage? It makes you say, that's a big man.
Step by step, Gene Deal outlines what he believes was a conspiracy. The coroner reportedly moved the body before detectives arrived and ruled out foul play without a full inquiry. A massage administered during severe pneumonia and missing electronic devices raise further questions. This, critics argue, wasn't negligence, it was deliberate destruction of evidence. Someone with significant influence allegedly ensured Kim's death appeared natural while preventing anything from challenging the official pneumonia narrative. The disappearance of key witness accounts adds an even darker layer to the alleged cover-up.
It's in the police report. That this is in the police report that Dallas Austin's daughter, who was a friend of Kim, left her house at 8 o'clock. That Kim had made a call, 911 call at 2:15 that morning. And I don't know what happened in the 911 call or what was said. But they said that Dallas Austin's daughter, according to Kim's father, was the woman that left her house at 8:15. So she was the last person, according to her, to see Kim alive.
Gene Deal's account involving Dallas Austin's daughter is deeply unsettling. She was reportedly present when Kim died, yet never gave a statement and never addressed the rumors. To critics, the possibilities are limited, either a silent witness or an active participant. When the only person capable of offering direct eyewitness testimony in a suspicious death stays quiet for years, it suggests more than privacy. It points to fear of retaliation or possible involvement. Still, Gene Deal's concerns required confirmation from others inside the industry to carry weight. That confirmation, supporters say, came independently from Jaguar Wright, who claims access to her own network of insiders and reached the same conclusions about Kim Porter's fate.
Do you think Diddy killed Kim Porter?
Absolutely. I can say that without...
Put the mic on, put it on both of us for that. I need to know, do you think that Diddy killed Kim Porter?
Absolutely.
Why?
Because of all the videotapes, because of the book, because of all the people she gave copies of her book to, or at least chapters, because of everything that she had on him, because of the tape that she used to blackmail him into a relationship and into a raise of him being by Andre Harrell. And I am not saying that allegedly, because I heard her and Kim Noor talking about it in the booth of the bathroom while snorting cocaine at the Kit Kat.
According to these accounts, Kim was eliminated because she possessed evidence that could have permanently incriminated Diddy. This is framed not as speculation, but as corroboration between independent witnesses. When two insiders with separate sources arrive at identical conclusions about a suspicious death, advocates argue it shifts the narrative from rumor to credible testimony of criminal conduct. Jaguar Wright claims her knowledge goes further still, insisting that key evidence survived Kim's death.
I know a good few of the people that got a piece of that book. The truth is, Diddy was highly paranoid right before Kim passed away. And when he found out her and Cassie were still secretly talking and meeting, it became a very explosive situation for everyone who knew about it. Lunch at the Ivy. I hate the fact that she felt so terrified to tell the truth about the man that she had 3 biological children with, that she felt the need to have to be as covert as she was. But I'm grateful that Kim got her truth to people that she trusted. Problem is she didn't know who she could trust and couldn't trust. None of us in the game ever really did. I have no doubt in my mind that pieces of that memoir have been acquired by the home team, and that actors were incorporated so that they could put just enough spin to create reasonable doubt in the jury pool. Smart.
Jaguar alleges that portions of Kim's unfinished book still exist among people she knows. More critically, she says Diddy became increasingly paranoid before Kim died because Kim and Cassie were allegedly sharing details of their nearly identical experiences of mistreatment. The timing of Kim's death occurring as she was comparing accounts with other victims and documenting a broader pattern has led critics to argue that what was labeled a natural death was actually meant to prevent evidence from being compiled. Jaguar's most damaging claim, however, connects Kim's death to a much wider pattern.
Kim died from pneumonia, but there's the first coroner's report that said that she died. It was ruled a homicide, and they found toxins in her body to prove that she had been poisoned. You know, they have poisons that create heart attack and pneumonia-like symptoms. And then right after that, Al had a meeting, and I was going to meet up with him because we were in Vegas. And then the next thing you know, you want to know what they all had in common, though? The survivors and the late of Uptown Records, they were all writing tell-all books. Andre was writing a book right before he died. Heavy D was working on a book before he died. Kim Porter was working on a book before she died. And Al B. Sure was working on the documentary of his life. And then he goes into a coma. Has Puffy ever been in a coma? Has he happened? He must be the luckiest, because it seems like everybody that worked at Uptown Records from the very beginning on I guess Al disappointed you. You know, it's speak for a reason.
According to these allegations, Kim Porter's death was not an isolated act of revenge. It was one event in a systematic effort to eliminate witnesses while making the deaths appear natural. Supporters of this theory say the method used against Kim becomes clearer when examined alongside Big Homie CC's first-hand claims about alleged poisoning practices linked to Diddy methods they say were used on multiple individuals.
Well, I know he poisoned Jamie Foxx, and Jamie Foxx reported him to the FBI because of it. I know that's a fact.
So, wait, you're saying that Diddy poisoned Jamie Foxx and that's how Jamie Foxx got sick?
Jamie Foxx reported this man to the FBI because of this. Facts.
Wow. Okay, and how did you hear about this, if you can tell me, or if you can't?
These people poison people, bro. I've been poisoned 3 times. Why am I testing positive for cyanide? You feel me? Why do I had pneumonia 3 times? So people like, man, why he breathe like that? Because I only got 1 lung. And then I had a car crash, I got 1 nostril permanently blocked. And I done had pneumonia 3 times. Somebody been trying to poison me. My brother got poisoned with me. The little lady I was bodyguarding, she got poisoned. Like, somebody is carrying on these antics. These is facts.
Big Homie CC is said to provide the missing link. He alleges that Kim was poisoned using the same method he claims was used on Jamie Foxx and on himself after attending Diddy's parties, developing pneumonia-like symptoms, and later testing positive for cyanide exposure. This, critics argue, mirrors the exact pattern reported in Kim's death. One of the most emotional testimonies comes from Al B. Sure, described as Kim's first love, who says he witnessed her desperate attempts to escape and nearly lost his life trying to expose what happened to her.
More than a decade of being scrutinized and clowned by law enforcement, them telling me, you need some help. Trafficking, really? What's wrong with you? No way, but not realizing that they were also working for the situation.
Because you were hinting, saying,
hosting, I get calls, take it down or else, so on and so forth.
but this is about Diddy, so let's be clear for everybody.
This is about Diddy. His trial's about to start, yeah. They're selecting a jury.
But you were on this train years ago.
Yes, many, many years ago, I posted some information that was, basically trying to save my life. And thank goodness to my ex, the wonderful Kim Porter, the late Kim Porter, who, kind of warned me all along the way to, just kind of watch your back, so on and so forth. And I didn't understand why.
Because of Diddy.
Basically.
Do you believe that she died of pneumonia?
Absolutely not.
Why? What evidence do you have?
She was in the best of health. We just saw each other prior to her passing. We were actually celebrating our son's new Netflix Christmas special, and she was doing just fine. In fact, we were all at the event together at Netflix in the lobby. Sean, myself, the children, all having a great time. But I'm, grabbing Sean like, what? And she's in the back going, stop. So it was a really festive opportunity just for all of us to be together, because it's nothing like the circus that's out here. So it was a lot of stuff, came to surprise, but a lot of this stuff will be revealed and that's why I thought it would be a good idea to finally tell my story. Every network came to me, participating, so and so, but I said, listen, I have no interest in speaking about another man.
But you are in the book.
Yeah, right. But this, I will speak about where our paths cross and what's most relevant, something I've been trying to say for many, many years.
Al B. Sure's account completes the picture for supporters of this narrative. He claims Kim begged him to help contact authorities because Diddy allegedly kept her under strict control. He says she suffered from serious STD infections tied to an enforced swinger lifestyle, though no one believed him. When he attempted to create a documentary about her death, he alleges Diddy placed him in a coma. Contrary to public perception, Al B. Sure has not sought attention from Kim's death. Instead, He has continued speaking out despite intense backlash since waking from the coma. Gene Deal says he witnessed the cover-up unfolding in real time, and his repeated focus on the missing autopsy highlights why the medical evidence was so critical to suppress.
I don't think nobody in America thinks there's nothing suspicious about Kim's death, bro. If you are rich like that, you could, Kim had, I think a net worth of like, what, 12 million a year or something like that? Kim could have called any doctor to come over and look at her. If she was that bad, she could have called an ambulance or something like that. Everything is suspicious about her death, bruh. And I don't think an autopsy was done on her. And if it was a half job.
Gene Deal's second reference to the failed autopsy underscores its importance. Either no full autopsy was conducted, or it was deliberately incomplete to conceal signs of poisoning and possible HIV-related complications. According to these claims, the urgency to hide the truth has continued even after imprisonment.
He sent somebody through somebody else to try to get in contact with me, telling me enough is enough. Oh, okay. You tell Big Mama that enough is enough. You can't tell Wolf Mama enough is enough. You tell D Ferg Mama enough is enough. You understand? You tell all those people who supported you and they survivors, enough is enough.
Allegations suggest Diddy's ongoing attempts to silence witnesses from prison prove that Kim Porter's death remains his greatest vulnerability, more dangerous than current charges because it could expose decades of alleged biological harm. Critics argue the autopsy was the key evidence that had to be buried, as it could have revealed both homicide and HIV-related findings, exposing not only Kim's death but what they describe as a long-running pattern of biological abuse. Jaguar Wright claims to break the final wall of silence with her most explosive allegation that Diddy is HIV positive. She asserts that he has known for years, privately managing the condition while continuing his so-called freak-off parties. She further claims she can identify other infected celebrities who remain undetected. According to her, this goes beyond negligence, it constitutes biological warfare. A person allegedly aware of being HIV positive who continues forcing unprotected encounters, she argues, is not just an abuser but a weapon disguised as an entertainment mogul. These claims describe an infection network extending far beyond Kim Porter, creating what supporters call a web of victims across the industry.